Okay, this week, let's start with the Valley and we'll go into Summer House.
Perfect.
Chronological order. The Valley airs first. The Valley is so out of pocket. It's like mind-blowing because...
Mind-blowing.
Remember when this show was announced and everyone was like, boo, boring.
We hate
Who
it.
cares about these married couples in the Valley with kids? Like, snooze fest.
It literally has no business being as good as it is. And good is like a hard... like it is good entertainment, but it's like dark. There's some stuff.
It really is. And I'm like, I wonder if they knew all this beforehand. Because I always say, for anybody that's signing up for a reality TV show like this about your life, you're a married couple, like if there are anything. Demons...
anything under the covers.
Totally. Like
out.
monsters hiding in the closet.
Yes.
Like they are going to come out. If your relationship isn't like really on solid ground, there's going to be issues.
This will make it worse.
And it's like exactly what happened. And it's so crazy to me that I guess kudos to them for really airing everything.
They're not hiding
that they do, right? Because I know there's like Brittany and Jax it's been going on for forever.
Yeah, that was like I honestly thought that would be like the main thing.
Yeah.
But now every other couple has something going on. I'm like, this is crazy.
I thought the same thing. Like, and of course it's still so much revolved around Jackson. And this past week, he admitted to, his drug and alcohol problem, specifically cocaine. They were talking about a lot on the after show.
Tons on the after, which is a treat.
The after shows are so good. If you don't watch the after shows, you're really missing out because
you're missing out on like an extra 40 minutes. They're not like quick.
And you're getting all the cast of Vanderpump.
It's so good. It's so good because they really are in that group.
They are, but it's crazy to me that that's like not advertised really in any way. I just turned it on and was like, wait, Lala, Sheena, Brock, Schwartz.
They're all there.
In the after show commenting on the Valley.
And they're like, oh yeah, I was there that night and blah, blah, blah happened. I'm like, well, I guess they really are all in this together.
It was so crazy to hear, and I think it was such a relief to Schwartz.
Schwartz had a big big couple weeks. He's on every Bravo show this week.
He did. And he's like, I felt like such a relief for him to be able to talk to Jax about his cocaine use, God. On camera. It almost, like, I know Jax is like, wow, it feels like a weight is lifted. I finally admitted to the world that this is what's going on. And they were joking, like, not that anyone didn't know.
Not that anyone didn't know. But they all seem relieved.
Right.
Brittany too.
I think Schwartz was like, oh my God, finally.
Like, we don't have to make up code names anymore.
And they like, he was hardcore being like, how much blow he does when he goes out.
100%. He has been waiting to be able to just talk about it without his creative vocabulary around it.
It really is. And so many things, like the same with what Brittany said. Oh, I had to talk about his partying. And like this. And,
now it's just out there.
I have my radar up with Jax at all times anyway.
All times.
So it's like,
I feel like the craziest part for me of the Valley this week, which is insane to say because the whole thing is crazy, was Michelle in her confessional. Obviously, she's living in her marriage, ex-marriage, and Brittany's in her situation, and we're all just like, bystanders watching. But she was like, Jesse is by far worse than Jax. And I was like, by far feels really dramatic. Like, I'm not sure we can say that.
By far sounds so bad to the point where I'm like, oh my God, is he like...
Is there so much more?
Right. Is Jesse more like an American Psycho type vibe than like... Jax was kind of always outwardly...
There's never been a question.
You've never really been like, oh, he
could be a good guy.
Yeah, right. Like you're like, uh-oh. And then Jesse, it's like, oh shit, is he putting on such a facade?
Right, like the tea with Kristen. I'm like, is this all...
Right.
Fake? I don't know.
And he does seem to like, I think it's strategic of him that he does try to keep his cool.
I agree.
In these talks, like especially in the after show, like when he oh, we're not going to talk. Like I feel like he thinks that he is going to come off better if he stays really calm and like doesn't give
very
too many
manipulative.
Yes.
And I think also with Jesse, like, he seems like a smart man.
Yeah.
So I feel like he knows a little bit more about what's going on, whereas like, sorry, Jax. Like, he's just kind of like jaxing all over the place.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, I think Jesse's like thinking it through a little bit more on like how it will affect their conversations later in court, all those things.
Exactly.
So, Michelle saying that though, I was like, whoa.
No, that was a lot. And I also don't think that Like I don't think Michelle and the other girls would be bringing up the money issues if there wasn't like real money issues.
Agreed.
You know, like that's
Agreed.
because Jesse's like, we're not talking that's money's a personal thing, whatever. It's like, okay, well, you're not talking about it because you spent it all. You spent all the money.
You're the one making up stories about her being an escort in the boys chat. So you're talking about money to some degree.
Let's talk about the boys chat for a second.
Let's talk about it. Something I never want to be in is that boys chat with 25 people.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's crazy.
Crazy.
And they do make a good point, the fact that not that wives are like snooping through their husbands' phones, but like, especially for those that have been together for a long time, you have access to each other's phone.
Oh, hey,
like,
can you take a picture?
Yeah.
Oh, call my mom, whatever it is.
Right. And it's not for them to just, for the other guys, it really seemed like the guys that weren't in it, it was like, look, it seems like a chat where these guys are miserable and they're just complaining about their lives.
100%.
And their wives and like they're unhappy.
And some of them who aren't in it, Luke and Jason, they were so funny about it. They were like, thank goodness I'm not in it. It would cause a lot of issue.
Jason being like, I'm so glad I have an Android. It was so funny.
Said no one ever.
Yeah. I'm so glad my texts are green because I don't have to be in that fucking boys chat.
Mess of a boys chat.
It really, sounds like a disaster. Also, it's like, they're like, oh, if you try to leave, you get added back in. It's like, okay, whoa, is this a blood oath? Literally. These guys take a fucking blood oath.
And then
they're
poor
trying to,
Danny.
I know. Danny's face and the Dave and Buster's, he's like, I'm done.
And the fact that it was in Dave and Buster's made it so much better.
Janet is
something.
I mean this in the nicest way possible. Janet's just like kind of a freak.
I completely agree. And again, in the nicest way possible.
Yeah.
There are just like, she's quirky.
Totally.
Yeah. Like the fanny pack and the game, like the
excitement,
prize room.
No, the excitement over the prizes.
The drone. I was like, who cares?
And she lost for me. Look, I love a night at Dave and Buster's.
And I love a game.
Totally. And I love an arcade game too. And I love
the above.
You know, playing games, whatever. But I'm not in it for the tickets.
Weird. I'm in it for the experience and the vibes.
Yes. I'm like gonna have a couple drinks, laugh with my friends, have fun, but I'm not checking out the prize room before to be like, holy shit, I need that $14 neon sign and I need 50,000 tickets
or whatever
to get to it.
Yeah, like, and like the prizes, I know Dave and Buster's has more of like an adult audience, but like they're for kids.
Yeah.
Like it was just weird.
Like it'd
be one thing if she was like, I'm gonna win this for our baby.
Yeah.
But
no, these were adult items.
Adult items.
She was like, oh my God, the Dave and Buster's drone?
Like, what are you going to do with that? Spy on Jax? Like,
yeah. I don't know. It's just crazy. But yes, that's why it was even funnier. The fact that like they are adults, but they were having some of the most immature conversations. And I'm glad it was happening in a Dave and Buster's.
Like, you can't write it. I know everyone's like, people are like, oh, reality TV is so scripted. I'm like, it's called unscripted for a reason. This is brilliant.
That was actually so brilliant because the fact that Michelle was secretly going around trying to get votes to get Jesse out of the house. I was like, oh, this is a middle school
trip
fight.
He planned.
Yes.
And the house he booked.
Yeah.
Crazy. And then she's crying in the Dave and Buster's and Brittany is just Brittanying. It was the whole thing.
I'm so glad that at least, like, however you feel about Jesse, I'm glad that Kristen was kind of like, he planned the trip.
Right.
Like,
Kristen
I know you guys are
being
fighting.
The voice of reason is like the journey we've been on is crazy.
I know. I just feel like she really just enjoys herself so much on reality TV, and I love
enjoy
that
her.
For her, you know,
and I enjoy her enjoying herself.
Like she's just so in it. And even when they were like the callback to last season of her being like, "Oh, Michelle had a boyfriend
in the
for
hallway.
a year, and no one wanted to talk about it," and they're like, she was like, "Yeah, I meant like a year ago, not like for a year," and I'm like, "Oh, that's." Good. Pretty important.
Yeah, that's a detail that was needed. That's such a Kristen detail to leave out.
Pretty important. And that didn't get mentioned at all.
No.
Like when she actually said it. It's like now the second she's like, oh, I meant it was like last year.
She's like, haha, laugh funny.
And she's like, and it's not the guy that she's with right now.
Yeah, surprise, Jesse.
What did you think about of Jesse trying to put together the Runyon hikes with the honey, with the boyfriend?
I was like, where's your whiteboard?
Yeah.
I was like, this connection, I'm like, detective energy, I love it. Like he said like she was in full glam, going to the runs to Runyon and the honey and the t-shirts, and then they flash back to her selling the honey. Like the whole thing.
Yes.
I think he's right.
I mean,
it's hard to say.
It's hard to say, but
it seems like all the things are pointing towards that.
And I don't know if Michelle was like full blown cheating
right,
often.
maybe it was emotional.
But it seemed like
whatever.
Yeah. I think she was talking to guys.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure. Maybe some text conversations and whatnot. But she's obviously going to deny that. But I guess Jessie said she did admit
it's very
to cheating at one point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
I don't know.
Honestly, highlight of the season so far is when they're sitting at the table and they both just go, let's call Sheena. I'm like, I'm going to use that for every single inconvenience. I'm going to be like, let's call Sheena.
I know.
That was so good.
We've moved on from why don't you just call Taylor up to
let's call Sheena. Obsessed.
And I love
perfect
that Sheena,
evolution.
Right. And like Brock in the after show is like, no, you call Sheena. She knows everything. She's locked in still.
Locked in.
She cares about everything.
I saw all
these
the drama. TikToks of
and
her
she does.
like in full glam, like Sheena waiting for the phone call from Michelle and Jessie. I'm like, yep, she was ready. She was ready.
And I love, like, I hope that at some point they do become more involved in the actual show. Because
they're in that. They're
in it. So it's like,
together.
It's crazy to me that they're in the after show being like, oh, I was there for that, or I remember that, or
right.
I'm in the boys chat, or I do this. It's like, okay, so
come
make
on in.
The jump. I don't know. Maybe they
maybe this was a test.
Yeah.
Because now they're like revamping Vanderpump, testing them as like friends of. Yeah. And now it's like, okay, we all just want them there. Let's
exactly.
do it.
I think that's really what they're gonna have to do. So
I agree.
The Santa Barbara trip looks like it'll be a disaster. We'll see how
perfect disaster. Can't wait.
Folds next time for sure.